Hey, it's Coach Calloway. Thanks for joining us. We're going to give some love to our defensive coaches today, and we've got a great program for you. We're going to discuss our 3-5-3 nickel package and how we use that defense against 2x2 offensive formations and how we shut down the bubble screen with built-in RPOs. Coming up next, right here on the Calloway Football Network. Coaches, did you know CallowayFootball.com is the nation's #1 coaching resource? We have a tremendous network of coaches and are building a training center for coaches at all levels. Inside our training center, you'll find lessons like our video playbook series, team management, practice management, and overall coaching resources that's second to none and much more. Successful coaches never stop educating themselves. Get logged in today to our training center at www.callawayfootball.com.
Thanks for listening to the Coaching Academy podcast on the Calloway Football Network. Relevant, educational, entertaining. Coach Calloway talking all things football.
All right, coaches, let's talk defense. You know what they say in our business, that defense wins championships. We had a tremendous amount of success in the 4-year span where we only gave up about 6.8 points per game in that 4-year span and only lost 3 games, and our defense had a lot to do with that. We're going to discuss specifically how we shut down the bubble screen with built-in run-pass options out of an offensive formation where there's a 2x2 set. So let's go to the board and get the lesson started. All right, we've got a great program and lesson for you today. We're going to discuss how we defend and shut down these 2x2 offset back formations where the offenses are trying to spread us out by using what we call a 55 purple defensive call. But these offenses today have found creative ways to spread defensive out both vertically as well as horizontally, making us defend the entire field from side to side as well as vertical threats. They found creative ways to incorporate things like the triple option, the wishbone concepts, and the veer concepts into these spread offenses. So we wanted to give you a lesson and some information on how we've been very successful at shutting down specifically when offenses are in a 2x2 offset back formation and we're expecting a run with a built-in bubble screen option built into the play. So that's the play we're going to be talking about defending today. And as we go through the lesson, if you have any questions, make sure you feel free to leave those questions. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can go down in the comment section and leave your questions, and we'll make sure we have one of our coaches respond to you and answer any questions that you may have, as well as just general comments. We'd love to hear from you. If you're a coach out there that has a defensive concept that's been successful against bubble screen with RPOs built in, and you'd like to share that information, I know the coaches tuning into this lesson or tuning into the video would love to hear that information from you. So feel free to leave that in the comment section. And as always, share these lessons out on your social media network and help us spread the word about what we're doing here at Calloway Football. Again, as I mentioned, these offenses have been very creative at spreading defenses out with these triple option wishbone veer concepts built into the passing game. And so we've noticed that it's being run at every level. This is a college team here at Texas Tech, of course, lined up in this formation. We've got 2 receivers. You can see my mouse up here at the top of the screen. Got 2 receivers to the top of the formation and 2 receivers to the bottom with that offset back right there. Here's a pro look. This is the New England Patriots in the same type of formation. 2 receivers at the top of the screen, 2 to the bottom with that offset back. And then here's a youth team that we coached here. Actually, this is 2 receivers to the top, 2 to the bottom with that offset back. So the thing to know about is this type of offense is being run at every level of football, the youth level, high school level, collegiate level, and certainly at the pro level. So we see these types of offenses run at every level. And we're going to talk about a defense you can use against these formations to be successful at any level. So no matter if you're a high school coach, a youth coach, certainly a collegiate or a pro coach, these concepts are being deployed and can bring benefit to you. So we're going to talk about our 55 purple defensive call. It's really a 3-3 nickel package, but we call it a 3-5-3, where we're mixing zone and man concepts to defend that 2x2 formation when we're expecting the bubble screen with those built-in RPOs or run-pass options built in. So let's talk about the scouting report. We know a couple things. The scouting report tells us that most offenses will offset their running back, and when they do that, we want to deploy this defense. So you'll see here the defensive look. They'll have 3 down linemen here. This is a youth team that we actually coached right here. We got 3 down linemen, 3 interior linebackers. We've got our Rover and our dog, and then our cornerbacks and our free safety is not in the screen shot here yet. But this is a good indication of a youth team running this defense. Of course, at our high school level, we've run it as well. So you can see here, this is a high school team that I coach. We're in this 55, what we call our 55 front, where our defensive ends are in 5 techniques and our nose is in the 0 technique with 3 interior linebackers, a dog, and a rover up in the box as well. So we've used this both at the youth and the high school level to great success. So again, that scouting report, let's jump back over here to this Texas Tech look down here. Well, scouting report tells us a couple things. So if we're expecting the bubble screen or the run built-in RPO built into that, we're going to key off of this running back right here. So our scouting report says this is a good indicator of the offset back is where they're going to try to run the bubble. So we know that the running back is offset to the offensive right or the defensive left side of the formation. This is most likely going to be the bubble screen side of the concept. And so we're going to run that split coverage where we're running man coverage on the running back side, and we're running cover 2 down here on the bottom of the screen away from that running back side. So we use the running back as our indicator of where we're splitting our coverage. Man to the running back side and cover 2 or zone away from the running back side because, again, we feel this is the bubble side of the play here in most cases. Now, we know that the option read portion of this play, the running back here can run this inside zone or maybe even run a stretch play off to the left side of the formation, or this quarterback could pull it and keep it because he's reading this defensive end right here. So that's the triple option is inside zone, quarterback pull, or bubble, or some type of pass concept built off of that. So let's go to the playbook and take a look at how we defend it. All right, this is our play sheet on our 55 purple defensive call that we've been talking about. By the way, you can go out to our website at CallowayFootball.com and go up to the navigation bar and get logged into our training center and get our entire defensive playbook in its entirety. It has this concept as well as the entire defensive playbook. I encourage you to go out to the website and get logged into the training center and check it out. But as far as this defensive concept, again, we use this to defend that 2x2 formation where we're expecting the bubble RPO concept. And again, it's a 3-3 or what we call 3-5-3 nickel concept. It allows us to keep linebackers in and around the box in our nickel package so that we can give a lot of run support, because the first thing we want to do is we want to shut down the run as well as the bubble here. So it's given us 6, 7, sometimes 8 or even 9 men in the box very quickly, because not only do we have these 3 down linemen, these 3 interior linebackers, we got this free safety that can get involved in the run game. We got this rover and this dog as well. So with these 6, the free safety, the dog, we've got 7, 8, even 9 defenders in and around the box that can get there to help support on run very quickly and really shut down any kind of zone, inside zone, outside zone, quarterback pull, quarterback option type concepts, as well as we're playing that purple coverage where we've got man to the running back side. As I said, we're keying off of this running back here. This offset running back tells us in purple. So black is to the left, so black is our man-to-man coverage call, and blue, which is our cover 2 cover call. And in our world, black and blue means purple in our world. So again, we're keying off of that running back. So we've got man to the running back side. So our rover's got basically the number 2 receiver there, man-to-man, locking him up. And our cornerback's got man-to-man on that number 1 receiver, locking him up. Their free safety has man-to-man on that running back, and we're playing cover 2 over here where our outside or backside corner, weak side corner, if you want to call him that, away from that running back, has got outside leverage alignment, and it's trying to get hands on number 1, funnel him to the inside, basic cover 2 coverage rule there. Our dog is playing deep half. He's got either one of these receivers that try to threaten the field vertically or get deep. He's got to pick that route up. So he's lining up a little bit deeper on this cover 2 side than our rover would on the man side, certainly because he's playing more of a safety type position right here with a cover 2. Now, we've got some certain pattern read rules that we will deploy. Not going to go into those in detail in today's lessons, but again, go out to the Calloway Football defensive playbook out at CallowayFootball.com training center to check those coverage rules out. Now, as far as the box goes, let's talk about some rules and responsibilities of each player. Again, not going to go into total detail, but do want to give you the highlights. This first off here, in this first column, you can see my mouse. This is the alignment of each player, the key of each player, what their responsibility is run to them, their responsibility if runs away from them, and, of course, their pass responsibility if they read pass. So the alignment of our defensive end, since it's a 55 defense, we're in 5 techniques. That's what that means. And our nose right here is in a 0 technique. So you see these defensive ends are both in 5 techniques. They've got a C-gap responsibility on run. So they're going to play that tight 5 technique, set that edge. They're going to be the edge player right here and make sure they've got C-gap responsibility covered on run 2 or run away. That nose in a 0 technique is going through the V of the center of the neck of that center, and what we call a blast technique. So we're asking our nose right here to really blast this center and move this line of scrimmage. His goal is to move this line of scrimmage and get this center on his heels right here by blasting through him, and basically got good run support right here on both A-gaps with a Mike linebacker stacked right behind him. So we're stacking our Mike linebacker behind our nose with double A-gap responsibility. He's reading off of this nose right here, and he's going to fit off of this nose guard. So if this nose guard moves this line of scrimmage back and he is flowing maybe and ripping to the right side here, this Mike's going to be conscious of that nose movement off to the right, so he's going to really pay attention to that left A-gap. But again, he has double A-gap responsibility to fit off of that nose. Now the buck linebacker, which a lot of teams call their Sam linebacker, our buck linebacker is lined up in a 4-eye technique right here, and he's about 4.5 yards in depth, and he's basically going to read through that offensive guard, and he's got B-gap responsibility on run 2. You can see right there, and he's got backside A-gap responsibility on run away. So if a run comes to him, fitting up in the B-gap, run away from him, he's got backside flow, backside A-gap support. So anything to that backside A-gap or cut back by the running back, he would be there. Same with the will. He's got a 4-eye technique. At 4.5 yards, he's got B-gap responsibility first on run 2, and backside A-gap responsibility on flow or run away from him. Now, the free safety, again, as I mentioned, has man coverage on this running back here. So we're playing man to the running back side. So if this running back were to leak out here on a screen or leak out on a check down or get into the pass concept with a flare or swing route or an arrow route or a flat route or even a vertical push down the field, this free safety is going to pick him up and play man-to-man. Our rover and our dog are lined up 3-by-3 basically off of our defensive end and formation. Again, on the cover 2 side, it may be a little deeper because we're in cover 2 in purple. And on the rover side, he's got man coverage to the running back side and cover 2 on the back side, as we've talked about. Now, we do run some stunts out of this. So out of 55 purple, we've got 55 pinch bow purple. So our pinch bow stunt is a great stunt we like to run. It's we're telling the pinch part is our defensive ends. Both defensive ends are pinching into that B gap. So they're kind of firing and looping hard and aggressive right here, coming into a B gap stunt. We're giving them their point of contact or the landmark right here is the outside shoulder of that offensive guard. Want to be very aggressive and attack that outside shoulder, loop it into that B gap. And our buck and our will is the bow part of that call. So we got buck is the B and W here is the will. So we've got pinch, bow, and they're basically replacing that defensive end, and they've got 5 technique, C-gap responsibility, and what we call a 5 technique stunt right here. So they've got to come tight off of that butt of that end and really stay tight on that offensive tackle when they loop and blitz here and be very aggressive and come here with some violence. The coaching point here on this stunt is tell your buck and your will, your outside backers there, do not loop this wide and end up out here in space and leave a lane in that C-gap. They've got to shut down and pinch down and close down that C-gap. So the way they stunt is staying really tight to this offensive tackle right here, coming right off the butt of that defensive end that's pinching down and looping to the B-gap. So they've got C-gap edge responsibility there. Don't get too wide and leave a lane for that quarterback to pull it and get up in here, or a running back to expose any kind of alley that you leave. Now, the Mike linebacker still has A-gap to A-gap control. As we talked about, in these DBs are still in purple split coverage, man on the running back side, and cover 2 on the weak side or away from that running back. One last stunt that we would like to run as well is called 55 Rover Purple. So on 55 Rover, it means it's a Rover stunt. So our Rover's coming off the edge right here on a stunt. And so if he's got to run, it can be a run stunt or a pass stunt, either one right here. So we've got to replace this stunt. So the free safety knows on a Rover call, on 55 Rover, I'm replacing the Rover's responsibility. So the free safety now has man-to-man coverage on that number 2 receiver to the Rover side. So as that rover goes, this free safety replaces him and will pick up number 2 wide receiver man-to-man. So that leaves then the running back. So since the free safety would normally in our base 55 purple have the running back in man-to-man, that tells our buck and our will, hey, we now have the running back if he gets into the pass route. So the buck would have him if he comes to his side of the formation. So any pass route, check down, screen, swing, or vertical route, this buck will carry that running back man-to-man if he releases to his side of the field, and the will do the same if he releases to his side of the field. So if this running back gets out here for any kind of screen, any kind of arrow flat route, or again, he will carry him vertical if necessary if he's got a vertical route. So our buck and our will know they're replacing the free safety on man on the running back, and our free safety knows he's replacing that rover on that rover stunt. And again, we're playing man to the left and cover 2 pattern read rules to the right, and that's how we run 55 rover. So we gave you a good breakdown of how we run our 55 base purple, how we run our 55 pinch bow purple look, and now the 55 rover purple stunt. 2 stunts and a base defense we know that you can have success with shutting down this 2x2 offset offensive formation when you're expecting run with a bubble screen built in. Hope you enjoyed today's program. Coaches, don't forget to head over to our website at CallowayFootball.com and get logged into our training center. We have multiple ways for you to connect with us. We want to encourage you to download these apps from YouTube, iTunes, and Stitcher Radio, and then to subscribe to the Calloway Football Network. Always feel free to comment on the program, like it and rate it, and most importantly, share it on your social media accounts. You can follow us on our social media accounts on Twitter at CallowayFB or Facebook.com/CallowayFootball. As always, you can always reach out to us via email at info@CallowayFootball.com. Until next time, I hope to see you on the field.